Sleep more to lose more. What's up, guys? Marty here, and welcome to another edition of 101 Insider Weight Loss Tips. And today I have a story for you about a time that a client of mine rested her way on weight and what you can learn from it. And I think about an opposite time of this whenever I used to stay up late all the time and just go deep into the night. And thinking back on it, I wasn't even eating that much by volume per se, but just for whatever reason, the weight just seemed to pack on and pile on. I felt worse and worse every single day. It didn't matter how much I worked out. It didn't matter how good the food was at the time, which at the time, I'm just going to say it wasn't. I was doing it completely backwards. But enough about me. I want to talk about somebody else's success here. So, I was helping a client of mine get ready for an event coming up, and she just couldn't seem to get the body she was looking for. She was like, I lost weight, but I'm still kind of soft. I'm not really hitting on it. I really want my abs to show more than anything. I just want my abs to show. And we got to looking at things, and I was fairly inexperienced at the time too. And at first sort of question, I was like, well, how are you eating? How's your training going? All this other stuff. And then finally, it's like, well, how much are you sleeping? And she was like, oh, I'm probably getting 4.5, 5 hours if I'm lucky. And I was like, oh my God, that's what it is. So we fixed the amount of time she was sleeping, and all of a sudden everything tightened up, energy levels went up, performance went up. She started making more sales, got a promotion. The rest is history. But there's a few things I learned from this that I want to share with you guys today, and they are tip number 1. Sleep to burn body fat. That's right. I'll say it one more time. Sleep to burn body fat. I'm having a hard time with words this morning. A more complete rest equals a healthier body, and there's a few things you can do to really help out get the most restful sleep possible, because I know you can't sleep all day, and sleeping too much is definitely a problem. But in order to get the most complete rest, you're going to want to think about things like minimizing exposure to the light in the room where you sleep, minimizing exposure to artificial blue light. That can trick your brain into thinking that it's noon all the time, and it spikes your adrenal glands, and things can get real out of whack. So consider getting yourself some blackout curtains and watch that screen time, especially as bedtime's approaching. Tip number 2, sleep to build muscle. So what is the right amount of time? Well, for most people, it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 7.5 to 9 hours. And you might be like, oh my God, that's so much time. But, the fact of the matter is this. You don't build muscle whenever you're working out. You don't build muscle whenever you're awake. And it's one of those things that only happens while you're asleep. So if you want to keep working your tail off at the gym, training, and you're okay with not seeing results, keep doing what you're doing. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to sleep to build that muscle that you're looking for, and that's the name of the game. Burn body fat and build muscle, lean, functional muscle simultaneously. And tip number 3, you have to make sleep your number 1 priority. And, I know a lot of you out there are probably feeling like, what if I missed something? Like, life's too short. I gotta be awake all the time. And it's like, well, I would just suggest start measuring your performance, because it's going to be different for everybody. I am a 9 hours of sleep kind of person myself. A lot of people can get away with 7.5, but that 7.5 to 9 hour sweet spot is where it is, and that's where you're going to want to start measuring your performance in your day-to-day life. And also, one other note right here. Your sleep cycles, in order to get a complete sleep cycle, it lasts about 90 minutes. So if you can't get those 7.5 to 9 hours consecutively, I would consider finding a spot somewhere in a day where you could take an hour-and-a-half nap somewhere. So, moral of the story is sleep is your number 1 factor in overall health. So, just to recap, sleep to burn body fat, sleep to build muscle, and make it your number one priority. So, with that being said, if you're somebody who's serious about losing weight, getting the body you want, performing in your everyday life and business, and attaining the health that you want mentally, spiritually, and physically, so you can really increase those performance levels, which means you can get those thoughts out of like, oh, what if I have to go back and get a normal job out of your head? So, if you're serious about that, today is the last day you can hop in on Insider Secrets. It's a membership site. It's where I'm building it right now in real time. I'm going to be dropping a lot of videos in there, and it's going to be all about helping you lose weight, get the body you want, and balancing your life physically, mentally, and spiritually so you can really perform like you're wanting to in everyday life and business, so you can escape that rat race and escape being mesmerized by all the propaganda out there that you have to stay awake and be on screens all day and be a slave to the machine. So with that being said, you're one upgrade away.